Super smelters, your go-to build if you want to smelt in bulk. Simply add coal and your choice of item. But what if we didn't need coal? A lot of farms are useful to avoid the act of mining. So why not a super smelter? That's why today we'll be building the only smelting setup you'll ever need. Hey, and welcome back to episode 9 of the BraaiPie SMP series. And last time we did this cool Happy Guest stable build, and I just want to thank everyone for the love that video got. We're sitting at 1.6k views right now, and that might not seem like a lot, but that is a lot to me. So I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the love. And if you want to go check out that video, I'll have it pop up on the screen right now. And for today's build, we're going to be doing, it's a funny story actually, but let me show you quickly before we get to that, the new skin, courtesy of my good friend Sino, and I'll link his channel in the description. I'm going to be featuring on his channel. We filmed a bit yesterday, and so yeah, you might catch me in his newest episode. Also, let me know what you think about the new skin. I think the old skin was really busy and fun, you know, this is more simplistic. I also switched out the cape for the Minecraft movie event cape, and I think it looks really well, and I like the change. I haven't changed my skin in years, probably since high school, so this updated version feels, you know, it feels right. So yeah, thank you again, Sino. And in today's build, we are going to be doing a super smelter. Originally, I was planning on doing a greenhouse, as we've spoken on before in previous episodes. We have a lack of trading materials, so a greenhouse would provide us with crops and sugarcane and melons and pumpkins, everything we need to get going with the emerald trading. And so I started planning the greenhouse, and then I realized, what does a greenhouse use a lot of? Glass. And placing all that glass in creative, I always think, how am I going to get all of this glass in survival? And I was like, okay, well, we need a super smelter. And I haven't stressed this enough, but the point of this SMP series, when I started the series, the point was for me to learn to build by doing a build for everything I need. So for example, when I needed an enchantment setup, I built that wizard tower over there. And when I needed a trading center, I built that library over there with the little marketplace. The iron farm, not the best build, you can't really see it from here. And then the mob farm. So by that logic, I can't just set up a simple super smelter without doing a build for it, because that will be breaking the rules, you know. So I, midway through the week, stopped in my tracks with the greenhouse build, and that's why the upload schedule is so out of whack, and I apologize. And we are going to get going with the super smelter build, which I thought was going to be a small build, a quick and easy build, which it usually is. But because we have to do a aesthetic build, and due to me not wanting to mine any coal for the rest of my time on this SMP series, except for when I need torches, we went the fully automatic route, which means we're going to have to do a lot of redstone, a lot of mumbo jumbo. And yeah, I want to give a shout out to him because I am making use of his design for the kelp block autocrafter. Really cool design, and I tweaked it a bit just to fit in with the farm, but it's pretty much the same. It's just like, yeah, a few things with the orientation wasn't right. And so I started to build this thing, and I built a decent sized kelp farm. Then I built the autocrafting machine, and then I built the super smelter, and then I started to realize how big of a build it's actually going to be compared to how big I thought it was going to be. So yeah, it was kind of quite a story to get to planning this build, but yeah, we're gonna get started with it right now. I'll meet you over at the site. All right, so over here we have a spot I designated for, or where I just think a blacksmith type of build would look cool, and it's right next to the marketplace and the library. So yeah, we're gonna get started. I already got a few of the materials which I just collected from other chests, from other builds. So yeah, let's have a look at the list for today. And as you can see, we're gonna be using a lot of blackstone. So a lot of blackstone and spruce. And the cobblestone we're just using for all the technical building aspects which you won't be able to see on the outside of the build. So anything that has redstone on it, we used cobblestone on for just to not be wasteful. And so you can also see we have a lot of redstone components like hoppers over here, redstone dust. Where was the observers? 53 observers, so that's more quartz like we did last time. And furnaces, you know, powered rails for the sorting system. And yeah, we're probably going to get started with the most, which is the blackstone first. And some spruce logs as well. And I think the blackstone means we are going to have to hit some bastions. So yeah, that's going to be fun. And I'll see you when we hit the bastion. It's okay. Okay, we just stepped into the bastion. I think this is the entrance. This is the entry room. I thought this was the treasure room, but we still have to get there. And I'm here with my two SMP members. They're really nervous about this recording. Hello. There we go. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. Do you need blocks? Skeleton. Oh! Yeah! Yeah, I fucking do it! Okay, let's go. Dude. I'm gonna kill as many of them as I can from up here. Dude, the bow one-taps them. Oh no, not the big guys. If you see magma cube spawners, right? Don't break them. Just cover them with blocks. Because I want to use them for frog light farm. Frog lights are gonna be really cool. Ooh. I hear some angry boys over here. Boom. Boom. Ooh. Who just fell? Yo. Magma cubes are those little fiery... Ooh. Yeah. I don't see any chests. Do you see any chests? Bruh. Oh, over here. Oh. Smithing template, more gold. We have to distribute that smithing template between us for the netherite. Okay, so we just got back from the Blackstone Excursion, and we got all of this Blackstone and some, or Blackstone bricks and some normal Blackstone as well for the smooth Blackstone. And we also got some nether quartz for the redstone components, like I think a comparator and observer. They all use quartz, so we got some while we were in there. And we got some ancient debris from the Bastion. And, oh, that's still my... Okay. Let me get my fortune. What do you mean? Silk touch. Fortune. Hello? Oh, I'm supposed to... Yo, I'm such an idiot. I'm supposed to, smelt them. Man, I'm stupid. I'm actually stupid. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna mine this with fortune now. I'm probably gonna get started on... I still need to get a lot of... I'm gonna mark off the Blackstone stuff, so... Let's search for that. Polished and polished. Let's see. Bricks we can mark off as well. And then we can get... We have to get some deep slate as well. So I have to get working on the deep slate. And also some tuff and some diorite as well. So I need to get working on all of those minerals. So I'll see you afterwards. And with that, we have the last blocks we need, the orange terracotta, and we can mark these off as well. And the orange terracotta is done. Boom. And now we can get started with the build. I'll be doing the technical part of the build first, and then I'll do a bit of an explanation of how the whole system works. And then we'll be covering all the ugly redstone. By the way, here is all the redstone components we're going to be using. I'm pretty sure. It's all in here. And then over here is all pretty much everything I gathered off cam. And over here and over here. So actually perfectly fits into 4 double chests. So yeah, I'm gonna do a quick explanation of how all the redstone works, and then we're gonna cover everything up, all that ugly redstone, and yeah, I'll see you halfway through. Warning. In the following segment, I proceed to yap about redstone for 8 minutes straight. If this seems like something that would interest you, affirm yes by subscribing and liking the video. If it doesn't, like and subscribe anyway, then feel free to skip to the build segment of the video, which will be in the chapters. Enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, so at this point in the video, I just wanted to do a real quick rundown of the kelp smelting system, which we're going to be using. Over here we have Mumbo Jumbo's design, which I mentioned earlier we are going to be making use of. And it's a really cool design, and that's ultimately why I decided to make use of it in this farm. Yeah, I just really liked it. It's perfectly cube shaped, you know? I had to make some tweaks just to, you know, make it my own. Okay, so how this system works is when this hopper minecart over here is filled up with kelp, which the kelp farm is going to be connected over here at this hopper. Then this comparator would... What the... Okay, anyway, sorry about that. As I was saying, if this hopper is filled up, this hopper minecart is filled up, this comparator would detect it. Then this would detect, still has items in it, and keep it in the system until it's empty. And then what happens is this kelp gets crafted into dried kelp blocks by the new auto crafter. And then the crafted kelp blocks go into here which is split by this hopper redstone timer, 50-50. 50% of the kelp blocks go into here, and 50 go into here, and I need to update this, boom. And then it ensures there are always kelp blocks in the system. So, as he would say, quite simple actually, but it really isn't. I wouldn't have been able to design this myself. And, you know, if you explain it, then it makes sense. But I wouldn't have been able to figure this out, especially looking this clean. You know, my system would have been twice this size. And I did kind of expand his design quite a lot, especially with this arm over here. But we'll get to that now. So the first problem of the few problems I experienced was in this system over here, which feeds kelp blocks back into the system. Kelp blocks would get stuck in this dropper. So all I did was, instead of having a comparator checking is there a kelp block going through the system, I just put a little delay on how long the observer is looking at his buddy. And then it fixed the problem. And so next, so this is kind of a double whammy. So this section over here, so basically this composter is filled, which the comparator detects, and it displays on this observer. And then basically when this crafter is filled with 9 items, it has a single strength of 9. So then it updates to 9, and then it crafts because this system goes back into here. So yeah, that's what the problem was. And then next, I had an issue with this 50-50 splitter, because I think at the end of the day, this system is going to get backed up with too many dried kelp blocks, because I don't think that this system needs just as much kelp blocks as a super smelter. So I think most of the kelp blocks should actually go into the super smelter system instead of back into the system. And so I kind of racked my brain on how to achieve this, because, I mean, Mambo actually just said that he couldn't be asked, you know, and I'm sure that's not the case. It's just, you know, this is so much more easy. I'm trying to say this in a way that I don't want to say that he did anything wrong, because I'm stealing his bloody design, you know. But I came up with this, where this circuit over here checks to see if there is anything in the smoker, and then it blocks off items going back into the system. So if there is any item in this kelp, smelting, or dried kelp blocks, it doesn't let any kelp through to the system. And as well as this, okay, so I should say why I did this. So this didn't work, and I was like, this should work logically, you know, it makes sense. Like, if it needs kelp blocks, it should only take it when it's empty. But then every time it smelts, it crafts kelp blocks. And then by the time all the kelp blocks are crafted, it's already in this hopper minecart, and there's none left for my poor self-sufficient system over here, you know? So it doesn't give it a chance to sort it. So what I did was I made it wait till it's finished smelting before sorting. And that really did the trick. So this observer checks to see, is it smelting? And then it turns on this bulb, and this bulb, holy, I mean, bulbs are probably the best thing to happen since I don't know which happened first, bulbs or auto crafters. But yeah, bulbs, super cool. I used bulbs but yeah, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, this bulb turns on. This comparator sees the bulb turning on and powers this redstone torch under the other hopper. And so both hoppers are deactivated now while smelting, because there's going to be kelp in there either way. So even if there's no kelp blocks left, it's still smelting the final bits of kelp, right? And when that kelp is done smelting all at once, it releases this. And it checks, is it empty? So it releases this, meaning this system can continue going, and it splits all the kelp blocks in here 50-50. But the difference is it splits it only up until the point that this minecart fills these smokers. So once there's enough kelp, this gets released, and then this system turns back on, blocking the flow of kelp blocks to here and only letting kelp through to here. So I don't know if you guys thought that. It took me kind of a while to, you know, figure that out. Yeah, I really racked my brain around this. But that's finally the system I came up with. It's probably not perfect. but I'm really proud, and it's not my design, so I really want to thank Mumbo, and I think he would think it's cool, all the changes I made. I don't know, but yeah, let me know what you think about the system. Thank you, Mumbo, and let's get back to the build, and then I'll explain the super smelter after this segment. All right. Okay, and we are done with the smelter section. Over here we have the output, and over here you put your items you want to smelt. So obviously we don't have enough help blocks backed up yet, but that's why I built everything, all the technicals first before the actual build itself, so that it can fill up while we build. And over here I also had to do a strange little contraption, which basically how it works: when you power a comparator from the side, which is happening over here, and that happens when there are items in the chest, then a minecart has to be full before it's let go. So basically what happens is, if this chest still has items in it, it needs to fill up the minecart before it's let go. And if it doesn't have any items in it, meaning that the minecart has all the items that was in the chest, it just lets it go and lets it go, you know, until it's empty, of course. Like in our system over here as well, you'll see, yeah, over here we have a powered comparator as well, which only lets this, and it's almost full actually, that's good, which only lets that hopper minecart go when it's full of kelp. So it's the same concept, and just used to work its magic in filling these. And the reason behind this is just so that the minecart isn't going up and down the whole time. It's locked in place when it's not in use, and that's like my biggest pet peeve, is when things are moving, constantly going when not in use. And that's a big part of all the work I did on this, was to prevent some of those passive movement things, like the constant observer clock or whatever. And so yeah, I hope I could explain that thoroughly, that you guys can understand. If you don't understand, you can maybe leave a comment, and I'll try to explain it to the best of my ability. And yeah, if you guys maybe want the system as a download, I can provide it as a schematic or as a world download, maybe, perhaps. So yeah, let me know if you would be interested in something like that. But we're gonna actually get going with the build, the actual build, instead of the skeleton. We're gonna get to the meat, you know. And I'll see you when it's done.
Stop it.
Western Showdown.
Didn't get. Who's your money on?
Right side.
What's your? Fuck. Where's the right side?
My right.
Bit of brain.
My right. Oh shit.
I'm so white.
Oh shit.
I think we gaan wen.
Oh, let's go!